Hello everyone, this is the student's view of the eProofJS environment for processing eProofs without the iMethodS installation on a server. This is an emulation just to use the environment without a server installation, which most of the people will not have access to. First of all, the students have a certain amount of fragments of the proof. They can use them and add them to the proof. The proof will be shown here, and step by step they can add several proof steps to the environment. So we start with let A be elements of the real numbers, and then the first step will be available here. The next step will be selecting a plus b square is equals a plus b times a plus b. So we decompose this product into a sum, and we have to apply several laws, including the distributive law, on the step. And finally we're reaching the next part. This is here. And we add some justification, for example, show all the distributive law. And then when you add this distributive, every justification has a short ID, DL for distributive law. And then when you add a justification for it, it could be more than one, then this appears here. The justifications are fully shown under each proof step, from this equals, so equal to this, so we see this equality sign, and then the next step appears here with the justification mentioned here. So we can remove them later on and add other justification steps. For example, the semantic of the square, which is not used here, it's used here, so I remove this. For example, justification is the semantics of square is used here. So then we have this justification for that proof step here, and for the equality we have the distributive law. So if the students have access to this assessment, they can assess each step. So we need a connection, so this is the start of a proof sequence, so we missed that. And if we assess this last step, so there are several problems, so we missed some step in between, so and the next step is not logically connected to the following step, so we have only 8% of the proof step here. So that is, so you can increase step by step your proof. And finally, we close this, we can show the assessment of the whole proof. So we reach 13.25% of the proof, and for every step the percentage of the proof step is shown here. So when we have correct justification, they are shown here. If we have missing justification and unnecessary justification, they are also mentioned in the assessment of each proof step. So we have only used 3 fragments, so if you don't use enough fragments of the proof, you cannot reach the full percentage of the full proof. You can show the fragments that are fully available here. You can show all the justifications that are available and offered by the teacher. And of course, in an e-assessment, the assessment buttons and the suggestions button might not be available. For longer proofs, a selection of possible proof steps can be offered here. The next step, what I want to mention, is freely defined proof steps. So every proof step that can be edited by the student have a my ID, my 1, my 2, my 3, and if I append this to the proof step, then the students have the possibility to alter the proof step definitions. For example, 2 times A, 2 times B, plus 4 times x squared. So if we save this, then the proof step is altered, and so for every proof step that is self-defined, a manual assessment is necessary, but at least for the other proof steps that are in the solution graph provided by the teacher, they can be automatically assessed in iMatterF and of course in the offline environment for self-learning. So that's so far. If you need further instructions, just go on tutorial or other video screencasts. And if you need further help for editing math formulas, just check out the ASCII Math help. And for internal use of the eProof environment, press help. It will pop up several help recommendations, and you can refer to this and close it and go on with your proof step. If you have your offline eProof environment, which is not installed in iMatterF, then you can also use the save button. It stores the current proof in your browser, and when you restart your browser with the same URL, you get your preliminary proof from your last visit reloaded, and so you can go on if you do not finish your proof so far. So thank you for listening. That's it so far. I hope you can test the preliminary version of the eProof environment, and that's it. Thank you for listening.